Last night I was watching the Gabby Petito documentary. I'm not done with it yet. But I've been watching it as I go along. And I came across this like very disturbing part and it like woke me up. You know, when the story was happening, I was aware of it, but I didn't follow it, to be honest with you, in real time. So I am interested in now, watching the documentary has definitely piqued my interest. But there's this part that I've gotten to. This is as far as I got, but this part was crazy because I was like, I don't me, we don't understand as a culture how little we care about protecting women. We don't understand that. We don't get it. Men especially, we don't get it, right? But this piece right here, right, is was very like I was like, wow. It was scary how it was scary how it played out. Let me just put it like that. And this is the interaction between the police and Gabby and her fiance at the time. I can't really play the video, but let's listen to the audio.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl. He was slapping her? Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
It was a smaller van. The make was a Ford. Model was Transit.
White Ford Transit. All right, I will let somebody know. Thank you.
Subject says to hit the curb.
So right off the rip, you hear the caller say, clear as day, I saw him slap her. Right off the bat, you hear the guy calling say, I saw a man slap a woman. Right? Okay.
You want to place your vehicle in the park and go ahead and turn it off? Park? Oh, it isn't parking. Okay. Turn on your engine. Go ahead and set your keys on the dashboard. All right. Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me? Yeah. I'm so sorry. You. Oh no, you're fine. I'm gonna go ahead and close your door. Hey, we got a call about a male hitting a female and the two of them getting in this vehicle and taking off.
I don't want to try and defend myself by saying anything here, but I pushed her away. She gets really worked up. And when she goes, she swings and she had her cell phone in her hand. So I was just trying to get her away.
He is off the rip. He's like being defensive already, right? He's like, oh, I mean, he's putting all the blame on her right off the rip. She's like, oh, we've been fighting all morning. He's like, oh, she's attacking me. That's the vibe right off the rip. Mind you, the caller said, I saw a man slap a woman. Because that kept replaying in my brain the whole entire time while I was watching this.
In the car because you put your OCD.
Tell me to calm down. But I calm all the time, and he really stresses me out, and this is a rough moment.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, take a seat. What's that? Yeah, I just spoke.
He asked him, have you talked to my fiance? I don't know if you guys can hear it. It is a little muddled. He says, have you talked to my fiance? And then this is the officer responding, yeah, I spoke to her.
So, you want to do me a favor? Let's go ahead and get you to step out of the vehicle, all righty? Get on the NHR right now. So, tell me what's going on.
They ain't patted this man down. They ain't asked him, did he have any weapons? Like nothing. Just get out the car, come stand right here. Like, as a black person observing this, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? But yeah, just whatever. This is crazy. Like, as a police officer, right? A response to a DV situation should have you on high alert as an officer for your own safety, because that shit can go sideways really quick, right? When they feel like they ain't got nothing to lose and they're gonna get found out, So I would have been right off the rip. And I mean, whatever. He obviously didn't have any weapons or whatever, but that was this is crazy to me as a black man in America. This is crazy to watch how police treat white men and white people in general, but specifically white men.
The students gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So like I lock the car and I walk away from her. Go away.
He's saying, I don't know if you guys care this. He's saying like, oh, she gets really worked up at times. And I have to defend myself. That's his story. He said the same thing 3 times.
This morning is that she's trying to start up like his own little website blog and everything. So
he said what happened this morning is she's trying to start up a little website and everything. So I give her time.
We really had a nice morning with everything, but
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
she had herself on her hand. That's why I was pushing her away.
He has scars on his face. The police officer asks him, can you explain those markings, those marks on your face? And he goes, she had her cell phone. I was defending myself. He didn't ask you that. He asked you, how did you get those marks on your face? Right? I would have picked up on that instantly. Like, wait, you didn't answer my question. How did you get the marks on your face?
Because she wanted I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys like that way. I know I was so pushed, but I was just trying to push her away to go, let's just take a minute, step back and breathe, and see if she got me.
What's your name?
Gabby,
Gabby, how old are you?
22.
Did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something like hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? Have a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Did he hit you? No, I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him. I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth. He actually hit you. Because, where did he hit you?
She said, I guess I hit him first. She's like the police officers are asking her stuff, and you can tell she's being very guarded. She's trying to protect him. He's trying to save himself. So he's throwing her under the bus, and she's trying to protect him. So, if you're a police officer, if you're somebody listening to this story, if you're not trained and you don't know what's going on, you may think like, oh, she was the aggressor, right? You know what I'm saying? Because she's saying like, oh, yeah, I hit him. And then he's like, yeah, she hit me. He never said I hit her back. He said, yeah, she hit me. But remember, the man who reported it said, I saw a man slap a woman. The fiance has yet to say that he slapped her. He's saying, oh, I was fighting her off and all that stuff. That doesn't sound like you slapped her. That sounds like you were like, keep, you know what I mean? Like, hey, get back or whatever. Hey, get, a push maybe. No. That man said distinctly, I saw a man slap a woman.
Hang on.
He grabbed my face. That's what she said.
So I'm just trying to keep her away, and if not.
And he's saying I grabbed her and tried to push her away. So it sounds like his story makes sense. What she's saying, it adds up with his story thus far. You know what I mean? So you're listening to this as to me as an untrained person. Okay, right? But these are police officers. They're trained in this. They understand this type of stuff. They know these stories. And just on its surface, this doesn't sound right. And mind you, again, the man said, I saw a man slap a woman.
And then I got really loud, and that's why everyone's attention where I was going. Back up, get away, just give me a...
Okay, so I said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got the scratches on your eye? So have you been drinking?
No, we don't drink.
Okay. What was up with this driving? I saw that he did a curb
I
while you're driving.
thought,
While he was driving, you were hitting him.
not,
So you pushed her.
He was so she said that she was hitting him while they were driving.
And she hit you. She was. It wasn't like a push, and she jumped on me. She was already. I don't want to. She was already swinging, and I was. Yeah. A lot of angles, a lot of nails.
It's weird because if you guys ever watch this, if you haven't already, it's like the police officers was helping him create a story. Like they were asking him like leading questions. I don't know, it was weird, and they were acting it. I don't know, man. This is really crazy to me. Like to actually see it happen. I know that this happens. Like I knew this is how police officers treated DV cases. You know what I'm saying? But especially between a white man and a white woman. Like I know if it's a white man involved, oh brother, it's okay. These women be crazy. Like I knew that without a doubt. But generally speaking, any man, they're gonna protect him. But these dudes are like going out of their way to protect him. This is so like frustrating.
I was yelling at her, but then when you did it like that,
I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. Oh, you're the she thing. What?
She said I kind of punched his arm. She's talking about while they were driving.
Is it bruised or tender or anything like that? No. I'm fine. I look at her. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. Oh, you're the victim.
He said, I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. He's trying to play like he's a nice guy, right? So, again, he's gaslighting them. He's lying to them. He's like, I'm the nice guy. Like, oh, man, this is just a misunderstanding. Man, she's crazy, but I love her, man. Don't worry about it. She's good. I'm safe. But listen to the police officers. Watch, like, this is when the shit get real deep.
Even if you
Oh, I'm
or
sorry.
anything like that. No. Okay. I'm fine. I look at her. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. Oh, you're the victim of a domestic assault. Even if you
The police officer said, you're a victim of domestic assault. He has already made that determination. He said that you're a victim of domestic assault. Mind you, for the 5th time, the original caller said a man slapped a woman. He has yet to talk about how he slapped her. He's never said he slapped her this whole time. Everything was I was defending myself. I was pushing her away. I grabbed her face to push her away. Like, not a slap. Not a slap. He hasn't talked about the slap yet.
Better story, like no, you can talk to her. She seems like a really sweet girl, 22 or something, has a lot of anxiety, and from what she's claiming, she's the full-on aggressor here.
From what she's claiming, she's the full-on aggressor. Okay.
I believe so. You're having a rough day, it sounds like.
yeah. I mean, it had some beautiful days here in the park. We camped that was very.
Oh, excellent. It's a beautiful campground, isn't it? Yeah.
Beautiful campgrounds.
And I is there any way to get my phone so I can call my mom?
I can find out. If you just
Yeah. Well, yeah. She wanted to call her mom. Smart.
a minute, I'm gonna close this. Take a deep breath, okay? Be right back with you.
Gabby called me crying and upset. She said that her and Brian had an argument. I asked her what happened. She said Brian had locked her out of the van. I was like, "What for? What?" And she said, "Oh my God, it was just stupid," and it kind of brushed everything off.
How far do you want to go with this? Like, the reason why they don't give discretion on these things is because too many times women who are at
Now listen to this. Listen to this perfect breakdown from this police officer. Like, this is so crazy. He like broke it down so perfectly.
Oh my God, it was just stupid, and it kind of brushed everything off.
How far do you want to go with this? Like, the reason why they don't give discretion on these things
He said, how far do you want to go with this? The reason why they don't give us discretion on these things
is because too many times women who are at risk want to go back to their abuser, and then they end up getting worse and worse treatment, and then they end up getting killed.
What? He said it. He said typically in these cases, the woman wants to go back with the abuser. They end up getting worse and worse treatment and they end up getting killed. He didn't say that. Listen, they just said that he is a victim of domestic abuse. That's what the police officer said to him. Now, this police officer is saying that the woman is the abused. That's what he's saying. He's saying women often want to go back with their abusers. So if you, what the fuck? You know she's the one being abused. What the fuck? And you know that it's hard for those women to get out of those situations. You don't know what that man told her. I'm going to kill your whole family if you ever leave me. You don't know. Like, what? This is crazy. And he's and apparently there's like a law. This is what I'm getting from this. There is a law or a policy, a practice, right? I don't know what it is in Utah, where it sounds like the police should just be arresting them or him, one of the two. And he's saying that we don't have discretion. Usually, he's saying we don't have discretion. That's why they don't give us discretion, right? The reason why they took the discretion out of the police officers' hands is because they are men, and male police officers will almost always side with the abuser. Almost always. So they're like, nah, that's not working. We need to take it out of their hands. If you encounter a DV situation, arrest them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm getting from this. Sounds like it's supposed to be black and white, but he's not following the protocol that the state or the city has in place.
And she said, "Oh my God."
Women who are at risk want to go back to their abuser, and then they end up getting worse and worse treatment, and then they end up getting killed. In no way, shape, or form that I can perceive that this is going to digress into a situation where he's going to be a battered man. Right.
Listen, man, all the men that be out here talking about, but men get abused every day. Listen to what he just said. He just said, I have no reason to believe that this woman is like she's the abuser. Even if she hit him in this instance, I have no doubt in my mind, or I don't think that she's an abuser and this situation is going to get like worse from her to him.
And again, I don't have a crystal ball. Everything she's saying is not like she the primary aggressor. Now, I'm looking at a 110-pound female. She's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law.
So that is the law. They are supposed to arrest him, at least maybe her even. I don't know in this case. But they're saying that she's the aggressor, right? Because she is telling the truth and he's lying. She's telling the truth and he's lying. That's why they should arrest both of them at worst. At worst, both of them. At best, him. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, oh, well, she's the aggressor. But he even just said, oh, she's 115, she's a 110-pound woman. Like, I don't think that she's a threat to him. This is why abuse doesn't go both ways, man. It's not the same. Even the police recognize this. Like the law, quote unquote, because you always like to talk about that's abuse is a law. No. It doesn't go both ways. It's not the same. They don't even weigh it the same when women do it to men. They don't weigh it the same. The police don't weigh it the same. The law doesn't weigh. Like, this is crazy.
Female, she's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault, do the whole thing. So I would make a decision yourself.
I'd rather think for the decision I made than a decision I didn't make.
Another option is to not charge them, but separate for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separate them. You provided for safety.
So I'm guessing, I think that's, I might be wrong. I think that's the law. I think they actually did No, I don't know. I got to look this up. I should have looked this up because I thought this was interesting. Maybe you guys can help me in the comments. I'm sure somebody's going to be like, public, da, 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 da. You guys always do that, and I love it. So maybe that's not maybe the law is just to separate them, because I was thinking the law would be to arrest them. But Gabby's family is suing the police for like $50 million because they didn't protect Gabby in this instance. So something tells me that they actually didn't follow the letter of the law, but I could be wrong.
Alrighty, Gabby. He does have marks on him. Normally we take people to jail, but he's trying to work it so you can just have the van tomorrow.
I don't want to be separated.
You can have anxiety.
I don't know where it's being, please.
There's no what is it?
No, I swear it's being, please. It's gonna give me so much anxiety.
But she said to have a lot of.
She said, I don't want to be separated. We're a team. I mean, this woman was completely battered. Like, wow, this is crazy. That they couldn't tell. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. They really, man, they really failed her. They did. They really failed her. Like, this is crazy. All the signs were there. All the signs were there.
Anxiety and stress.
How did they cry?
Just saying, I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but you know you have anxiety. Look at the situations you can get in. You know what I mean? All right, Brian, couple things. Couple things. One, I got your hotel room. Thank you. All right, I got some. So I got some. Catch your breath. You're going to be in a hotel room, watch some TV. Once you actually have to sit down and watch no conditioning and watch TV. But she's passing on her love and saying goodnight and stuff like that, all that and stuff that I do to my wife too, okay? So.
You hear him? He even, what? Are you saying you're an abuser? Listen to what the police officer said.
You actually have to sit down and watch no conditioning and watch TV. But she's passing on her love and saying goodnight.
While she's passing on her love and saying good night, stuff like that.
Stuff like that, all that
ooey gooey stuff that I do to my wife too, okay?
To my wife too, okay? So I appreciate it coming from just
It was just a silly argument, or just pointing at what?
A silly argument where it came to putting hands on each other and he's got marks. Silly arguments shouldn't involve hurting each other. I know you didn't. That was
exactly. So that's not a sign. It was a silly argument, but it led to this. Maybe it's something deeper. That was the female officer that clocked that, but like, come on, y'all.
the intention, but silly arguments shouldn't go that far.
You'll just go stand over here and pick up real quick. We'll get her out of here. All right. Don't text each other tonight. He wants to pass on the same message you passed to him. Really looking forward to talking to you again, but I told him and you, unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can talk tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. I hope so happen. All righty?
I wish you would have just drove that van back to her house.
Also, something I want you to know.
Damn.
Here, stand over here real fast for me. If you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. It's pretty cheap. Place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit. Alrighty.
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday, so it does my wife wonders. So when she gets stressed out, it's like get in the shower. Get in the shower. Go take a shower, relax. Take some time for yourself. And like I said, don't text each other tonight. Text each other tomorrow morning after your eyes open up and you're fully awake at your morning routine, okay? All right, you have a good night, okay?
That was crazy. So that right there, and couple that with, Gabby's family suing the Utah police or whatever, the police that were, I think they were in Moab, Utah. I see why. So this is the lawsuit right here. It says the parents of Gabby Petito filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab City Police Department on Thursday, alleging its officers were negligent in their interactions with the 22-year-old and her fiance, Brian Laundrie, 2 weeks before her death last summer. The purpose of the lawsuit is to honor Gabby's legacy by demanding accountability and working towards systemic changes to protect victims of domestic abuse and violence and prevent such tragedies in the future, Attorney James W. McConkey said in the statement. The lawsuit accuses the State Department and its officers of failing to follow the law and they did. Okay, that's what I thought. I figured they didn't follow the law. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. The lawsuit accuses the department and its officers of failing to follow the law and failing to protect Petito during an investigation into a domestic disturbance in August, just weeks before Laundrie killed her. The lawsuit states that officers impromptly determined Petito was the primary aggressor in the interaction and misapplied Utah's laws related to domestic abuse. It also accuses the police department of failing to properly train its officers in these issues. In a news conference Thursday, her parents said they filed a suit to ensure that police make these changes to help other abuse victims. Quote, no one here, the four of us, don't want to be here. We'd give it up in a second if she was back, said her father, Joseph Petito. We feel we need to bring justice because she could have been protected that day, said Nicole Schmidt, her mother. There are lawsuits put in place to protect victims, and those laws were not followed, and we don't want this to happen to anyone else. So that's what I thought had happened. I figured that they actually didn't follow the letter of the law for them to be suing, because I was like, what, like if that was all they could have done at that time, then that's all they could have done. But I know they could have arrested both of them, which it sounds like at worst they should have done that. But in reality, what they should have done was they should have pressed the guy more. Like what he was saying didn't make sense. Like what he was saying didn't make sense, and everything about her was screaming she was a battered woman. Everything about her was how she was acting, her shaking, her anxiety, all of that was screaming a battered woman. I want to be back with him. Yeah, we're gonna give you 24 hours to cool off. Like, and I ain't talking. I mean, we're jail. Like, we gonna shake the shit up. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this was just crazy. I'm saying worst case scenario because it's 2025. We never know. We gotta protect men too. Men are abusive. Like, fine, whatever. Lock them both up then for 24 hours. Sort it out. Make them go see a judge. After she has time to cool off and she's not so anxious to get back to him, maybe more of the story comes out. You see what I'm saying? Maybe more of the truth comes out. Maybe you can press him a few more times. See if the story is consistent. See if it changes. Just do your fucking job, though, bro. That was crazy, man. It's like it's the same thing that happened with Dahmer, right? They had that motherfucker. The police had that motherfucker. They had him, and they let him go because he was a white man and he was in a black neighborhood, and a bunch of gay black men were dying, and they didn't give a fuck. It's a white man abusing a white woman. They don't care. They don't care. If it's the white man, he gonna always get the nod. He gonna always get the nod. In a lot of cases, just so you know, in a lot of cases, they will side with the man no matter what the race of the man is, by the way. It may go up, due to race, right? Like a black man and a white woman, they may favor the woman more in those cases over the black man. But in a lot of those cases, if it was a black woman and a black man, or a Mexican woman and a black man, they would side with the man. You know what I mean? In a lot of those cases, it doesn't like the patriot, like intersectionality is a crazy thing when you try to wrap your brain around it. It is not the end all be all. It's not like every time a white woman calls the police on a black man, they're going to side with the white woman. Sometimes, especially when it's involving DV, they see themselves in that black man. They can connect with that black man. Yeah, man, women be crazy. Sometimes you just got to spank them a little bit. So I get it, brother. Sometimes that misogyny be grappling with that racism, and sometimes that misogyny wins. It ain't always the case, but sometimes it wins. But that just goes to show you how strong misogyny is and how strong that the patriarchy is and the hold it has over men. There's also, like I said in the beginning, look at how little they actually protect women. This is crazy. And I got one more example of this. So it looks like Andrew Tate was just released, right? Andrew Tate charged with rape and trafficking in Romania, returned to the U.S. Brothers Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, 36, left Romania while under criminal investigation over a string of allegations, including human trafficking and sex with the fucking minor, right? Controversial influencer brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate, who both face charges in Romania, including human trafficking and sexual intercourse with the minor, arrived in the United States on Thursday after a travel ban on them was lifted, according to their spokesperson and Romanian prosecutors. A spokesperson for their brothers, Mattia Petrescu said the two landed in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, around midday. The Associated Press reported. After landing, Andrew Tate said that, quote, "My brother and I are largely misunderstood." Bullshit. And he also says that there's a lot of opinions about us that go around on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever. We have no criminal record anywhere on the planet, he said in the statement. It doesn't mean you're innocent. Ahead of their arrival, Joseph McBride and the Tate brothers' U.S.-based attorney told NBC News on Thursday morning he would not comment on whether the State Department or the White House was involved in lifting the travel ban. A Trump official also declined to comment on the Tate brothers' arrival in the United States. The State Department also declined to comment. When asked about the Tate brothers' arrival in the U.S., President Trump said he was unaware of the matter, but will look into it. Cap. Our position is that Andrew and Tristan Tate have long been targets of lawfare, McBride said. They have maintained their innocence, arguing the accusations against them are defamatory and false. In a statement, McBride and the Tate brothers feel secure in America for several reasons, but the main reason is that Trump is president. That's what they said. They said they feel secure in America for many reasons, but the main reason is that Trump is president. As a result, they are excited to call America their home again, McBride said. However, our mission does not stop here. We will not only seek justice for Andrew and Tristan, but also work with investigators worldwide to expose and bring to justice those who have weaponized legal systems against their political opponents. Sounds like Trump. McBride said the Tate brothers plan to return to Romania at the end of March to meet with prosecutors. They will then come back to the United States, he said. They're not going back. When asked about the Tate brothers entering the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis said it was under the federal government's jurisdiction, quote, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, end quote. Matthew Jury, a lawyer for Matthew Jury, a lawyer for those in the UK who have accused the Tate brothers of misconduct, told Reuters they alleged victims were disgusted, dismayed, distraught upon learning the brothers had entered the U.S. Quote, they don't understand how this could happen, end quote. Jury told the publication, quote, why would the so-called most powerful man in the world intervene on behalf of one of the world's worst and most prolific alleged sex traffickers and rapists, end quote. Because that's what Trump is as well. The Tate brothers, who are dual U.S. British citizens, were reported by Romanian media to have taken a private plane from the country to the U.S. early Thursday. The brothers left Romania while under criminal investigation over accusations of having formed an organized criminal group in addition to human trafficking, the trafficking of minors, sex with a minor, and money laundering. They have denied any wrongdoing. Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, or DIICOT, DICOT, sounds like, or DICOT, said in a statement Thursday that prosecutors had approved a, quote, request to modify the obligation preventing the defenders from leaving Romania, end quote. but it said judicial control measures remained in place. The Associated Press reported the agency did not expand on what had made the request, on who had made the request. Sorry. So clearly, Trump intervened, or somebody on Trump's behalf intervened and got the Tate brothers released because they don't care about protecting women anywhere. So I talk about this all the time, how it starts at the top and it doesn't get any higher than the president of the United States. So literally, the president of the United States doesn't protect women, and the shit slides all the way down to get to the police. They don't protect women, and shit slides all the way down, and you get situations like the one concerning Gabby and her fiance. What is his name? Daniel or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know that asshole's name. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I say his name because I want to make sure he gets all the fame he deserves. What is this dude's name? I think his name is Daniel, right? Yeah, I think his name is Daniel. Yeah, I think that's his name. I can't find it in this article anymore, but yeah, that's his name, I believe. I believe his name is Daniel. You guys can correct me if that is the case. But yeah, that's crazy. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. And you see how it happens. You know what I mean? This is what I want to, I really want men to start paying attention. How it slides from the top down. It's systemic, and that's why you feel entitled and empowered to do the things you do to women. But this has to, we got to uproot the whole system. It's tainted at its core. It's tainted at its root. It's corrupted data. You got to cut all of it out. It's cancerous. It's cancerous. Our whole system is built on top of a cancerous idea, a cancerous ideology. But peace to the victims, to Gabby, Petito, and all the victims in Romania and elsewhere, right, of domestic violence and femicide. At some point in time, it has to stop, and we can do it individually, but we need to do it systematically. We need to start with the system.